One real quick thing to mention is chicha does stain. Purple corn is a great dye for stuff, but you want to be careful when you're cooking that if something spills that you clean it up really quick, just so it doesn't, you know, unless you want it to stay purple, then it's all good. I'm here with Wes, and I'm going to show him how to make a Peruvian style chicha tonight. So we've already sliced up our pineapple. We're going to use the pineapple rind. You don't actually need to use the meat of the pineapple. You might as well just save that and eat it for later. But yeah, we're going to start off there. So go ahead and put these inside. These are all the ingredients that we're going to use today. And the only other thing that's not pictured is the pineapples, which are in here. So the second thing is the purple corn. So you can actually find purple corn in like any Latin or health food store. Here you go. Are going to use about 2 ears of corn for this. So this stuff is strong. Okay, so just so you get an idea of what we got so far, we want there to be way more like sweet stuff in here than there is of the bitter stuff, which is the purple corn. If you actually eat it by itself, it's really bitter tasting. And the only way that I've ever known to eat it is by making it into a tea like this. So our second ingredients are green apples, specifically green apples. Alright, what we got next is cinnamon. We're using the Ceylon cinnamon. Have we showed it to you yet?
No.
This is the one we told you about. Check it out. This stuff is expensive, I will say that. This little packet cost me like $3, $2 I think. But this is the best cinnamon, and it's a lot more like mild. It's not like so you need to use more of this than regular cinnamon. But you definitely want to use cinnamon sticks when you're doing this. I usually break them in half. And when you're using the Ceylon, I will use like up to 4, like 3 or 4 sticks. So we'll use the entire packet in this case. When you're using like your typical, I don't know what the cassia cinnamon, then you only need like 1 or 2 sticks. But
which one's the cassia? The one most people are common with?
Yeah, exactly. Next we have cloves. So I do like maybe 1 teaspoon or even like 1.5 teaspoons of cloves.
So we got 1 whole teaspoon of cloves and green apples with your Ceylon cinnamon and the pineapple rinds.
Yep, that's exactly right.
And you're saying something also about 1 to 1.5 or?
Yeah, but I usually don't use ground cloves. I usually use the whole ones, and I'll do like, because if we're gonna fill up to about here, I would do like 2 or 3 cloves, like.
So you put in the whole clove when you do it?
Yeah, it's just easier for me to think in ratios when it's whole. This I call my secret ingredient because I actually haven't seen this in a lot of the recipes that I've like asked people about. But this gives it like awesome flavor, and this is star anise.
Star anise?
Star anise, yeah.
So where would you usually find that?
You know what? And most stores have them. Yeah, I've seen them at Mexican stores. We use them a lot in teas and soups. For this big pot where we're gonna fill it about to here, I'd say just 1 fatty star. There you go.
Just 1?
Yeah, this stuff is strong. These things are strong.
Wait! Don't drop it in. Okay.
Can you zoom in on it? Because there's these little beautiful seeds about coming out of the pods.
Hold it right there. Okay.
I guess I did do 1.5 last time, so if you want to do 1.5, here, go for it.
Well, the last batch you made came out really nice.
Oh, thank you.
That's about a half one, isn't it?
More, yeah, it is more than, it is a half, but I actually used less than that. So you could break it if you want, yeah.
Happy?
Yeah, I'm happy with that. But this stuff's pretty strong, so like when you normally make a
Hey Matt, look, it's just like us, halflings.
And I do like a sprinkle of nutmeg, like 2 or 3, just bam bam, like that.
Just a quick bam bam?
Just a quick bam bam.
Oh, but I like to enjoy it.
Wes is a lover, not a fighter.
Can't I be both?
So there you go. This is what it looks like now. We're going to start adding some water to it. You want to use the good water. Not our
quote unquote good water.
Matt, our wonderful cameraman, went out of his way today to get some really good water for us. I don't know. Alright, fill her up. As much as you think you can.
Fingers, healthy water has to be even heavier than if I had this filled from the sink.
Fill it up as much as you think you can without it boiling over.
Is that about good?
Yeah. Now keep in mind, this is going to go way down. It's going to go to like probably around here just because of all the stuff we have in there. Yeah, I forget that each and every time. Alright, cool. That's good, that's good. It's beautiful. Look at that. That's Peruvian glory.
I just feel so light after lifting that.
Good job. So we're set. So now we want to boil. Yes. Let's go to medium. Whoa, almost got burned. So now we're gonna wait for this to boil. Once it starts boiling, we're gonna let it boil for like a minute or two, maybe 3, and then we're gonna go down to a simmer. Basically, you'll know when it's done when everything in there is purple. Yes, the apples, the cinnamon, the pineapple rind will turn purple.
You can tell.
So we put a lid on the chicha to help it boil a little bit, and ta-da! That is lovely chicha goodness right there. So we'll let it boil for a few minutes.
Wow,
and then...
look what happened to the apple.
Yep. Check that out.
What do they call it, Sandy?
Chicha Morada.
Chicha Morada?
Chicha Morada. Mm-hmm.
Chicha or chicho?
Chicha.
Chicha.
There are different types of chicha, though, so don't get it mixed up. There's this is one of the few non-alcoholic chichas. Most of ours are fermented corn drinks.
Do you know how sad you have just made me? To know there was an option?
Look, the way that we make them alcoholic is we let them ferment in your mouth.
1.
So our chicha has reached a boiling point, and I'm gonna lower our temperature down.
Best supporting actor.
I'm gonna lower our temperature down to about medium low, around there, and let it simmer for another, I don't know, 15 minutes maybe even. Yeah, because you can see how the fruits are really getting the color up. So maybe, yeah, like another 15-20 minutes, maybe a little bit more.
So would you say it's a good idea to stop the boiling after the fruit has gone the color of the purple corn?
Yes. Yeah, I would say that. For sure.
Is there anything we need to know about how soft the fruit is or anything? Or you just generally go by color?
I go by color. Because generally it's going to be mushy. At this point, you touch it, it'll start falling apart already. So that's just... The color is a pretty good indicator of just how soft it's gotten, how absorbent it's become at this point. So for our sweetener of choice today, we're going to use raw cane sugar. But I gotta tell you, the ideal sweetener are dates. So if you have access and you have some dates, just throw them in there. Keep the stove on and just stir, and you know they'll start to disintegrate, and it's just the perfect kind of sweetness for this drink. But
So
this is good too. This is good.
So the ideal is to have a date?
I would say so. In my experiences I've tried it with honey, I've tried it with agave, I've tried it with this, I've tried it with refined white sugar, which just stay away from. So again, I don't have a precise measurement for you, but I usually go by spoons. So we have 1 big spoonful. We're going to start with that.
Roughly how many dates would you use for this pot?
I would say 4 or 5. So it was really important to keep it on while we're doing the sweetener because it's going to help it blend and mix in. But afterwards we want it to get cold because this stuff is served best cold. And once it's chilled, we're going to add the juice. Probably not a whole lemon, maybe half. We'll see. Just do it to taste. But that's it. And actually, this is some of our finished, cool, product right here. And homemade chicha, really good stuff. So.